Madden Football brings you the divisional round of the NFL playoffs, and it's brought to you by EA Sports. It's the Bills and the Bengals, and it's all up next.
The playoffs are in full swing as we welcome you to this postseason contest on EA Sports. Straight ahead, it's an AFC intra-conference contest between the Buffalo Bills and the Cincinnati Bengals. I'm Kate Scott, joining me as always, my partner in crime, Brock Heward, and we are excited to bring you this NFL Divisional Round game. Well, excited, the word that you and I get to use, Brock, as do all these great fans in attendance, but for the players down on the field, I think a better word to discuss in this situation might be pressure. Bring them down inside the 30. So here come the Bengals, ready for their opening drive. They're led out by the legend over in LSU, the former #1 overall pick in 2020, Joe Burrow.
When Joe Burrow's between the white lines, he's one of the game's best and most entertaining quarterbacks.
Moss goes up and over for the touchdown. The Bengals finish up an excellent opening series. Zach Moss, the touchdown. What an outstanding opening series, partner. They just wore.
Now comes a critical third down.
On 3rd and goal, here's Burrow. And he's going to take this in. Touchdown, Cincinnati. The Bengals get another 6 to make this a 13-0 game. He hung in there as long as he could. A lot of quarterbacks would have bailed out, and it was what you talk about, Brock, that courage that kept the chant for the touchdown alive.
Yeah, that touchdown's going to show up on his stat sheet making the catch or the quarterback's stat sheet for making the throw, but hey, can we put some touchdowns up there for the...
And now it's 2nd down. Here's Burrow. He goes back to him yet again. Complete. Touchdown, Cincinnati! The Bengals grow their lead just before halftime. So, Brock, this offense looking sharp here in the first half as they extend their lead.
You know, and when things are going well, sometimes you really just get into a groove. And this is a unit that's putting the pieces together.
1st and 10 from the red zone. To throw again, it's Burrow. Caught near the goal line. He's got the Cincinnati touchdown. Well, Brock, not much to say other than the fact that this offense on point. They're just clicking today.
Just rolling. I mean, this is clinic. This is what I call teaching tape. Being well prepared, and more importantly, going out there and executing at a high level.
Burrow setting up the play action. Why not go back to it again if it's working? Complete. And he's going to take this in. Touchdown, Cincinnati! The Bengals lengthen the lead at the end of the 3rd. Well, this machine has been firing on all cylinders this game, partner. And it continues firing as that lead grows yet again.
And those who've tried to get in the way of that machine you're talking about, namely the defense, well, they've paid the price over and over and over again.
So the Bengals pick up the win in this one. And their run through the playoffs has reached the penultimate stop on the tracks. The conference championship game next week. And they're going to need the same type of effort from this game, Brock, to carry forward to reach the end of the line and earn that Super Bowl appearance. So for Brock Heward and all of our crew, I'm Kate Scott, wrapping up another edition of the NFL on EA Sports. The Bengals emerge as winners as we say so long from Cincinnati.
Madden Football brings you the divisional round of the NFL playoffs, and it's brought to you by EA Sports. It's the Commanders and the Niners coming up next.
It was a frequent sight in the 80s and 90s, and it's continued on till today. Playoff football in the Bay Area as we welcome you to Levi's Stadium in Santa Clara. Coming up, we've got an ultra-important divisional round matchup in the NFC, as it'll be the Washington Commanders taking on the San Francisco 49ers.
Again, everyone, Brandon Gaudin alongside Charles Davis. And Charles, you take a look at these 49ers as they interplay here. It's been a good season for them so far. They're just looking to keep that momentum going forward.
They like their record. Now they want to increase it. A win here could really get the momentum going in the right direction.
But meanwhile, for the Philly got it to the 35. They'll mark him down officially at the 34. Here are the Commanders for their first drive of the game.
And a glance here at the man calling the plays under center, their 6'4" quarterback.
For a guy still in his second year in the NFL, this is obviously...
Judge here. He says it crossed out of bounds at the 16-yard line. So here's the first drive now for the 49ers. And a look here now at their fourth-year quarterback.
And the quality of opponent goes up a notch here in this divisional round, but he's coming off such a sensational...
They'll run with Mitchell. And across the goal line, into the end zone, touchdown 49ers. Elijah Mitchell.
A 5-yard touchdown run. And the 49ers have now taken the lead.
Two good drives on their first two possessions. Remember, the first wound up in a field goal, but we all know field goals aren't going to cut it in the NFL, so they're not going to be denied here, and they wind up punching this.
About the two. The San Francisco defense trying to hold tough again. This is
taken in for a Washington touchdown. Cole Turner.
A 2-yard touchdown grab.
And the Commanders are finally into the end zone here in this fourth quarter. So this back now to a 10-point spread, and you have to imagine they'll line up and go for two.
Oh, no question about it. If they can get this to an 8-point game, they can make things awfully interesting here in these last few minutes.
And they will get back to within one score as he is into the end zone, and the lead's cut to 8 here in the fourth.
There with third down coming up.
Back to throw. And now another one thrown incomplete.
Partner, they've got one chance left to keep this one going, and I think for you and me, let's think along with their offensive coordinator now. Has to think back, cycle through every play of this contest, and remember what's worked and what hasn't. Because right here, he needs the best play of the game in order to keep this one alive.
And it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over. They had to go for it with such little time.
Not to get the #1 seed and the bye through to the divisional round. But you know what they're saying right now? Let's just keep rolling. We're in a great spot.
And the Niners will continue on as we say so long, everybody.
So that'll do it for us. For Charles Davis and all our crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports. The 49ers get the win here at home as we say so long from Santa Clara.
Madden football brings you the divisional round of the NFL playoffs, and it's brought to you by EA Sports. It's the Raiders and the Texans, and it's coming up next.
EA Sports coverage of the National Football League is on the air. Straight ahead, we punch the second of 2 tickets to the AFC title game, and we've got a great one in store, as it'll be the Las Vegas Raiders taking on the Houston Texans.
the postseason continues here on EA Sports. We're pleased to bring it to you. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And who has the edge here? You got one side that had some extra rest, but another comes in off a win last week in the wild card round.
And it's funny, depending on which team you are.
Position, they'll start at the 32. So here comes the Raiders offense now onto the field.
And leading him out is their rookie quarterback, the young man out of Alabama.
And if he and his guys want to spring the upset here in the second round and move on, they've got to focus on the good that they did. You are a true hybrid, part linebacker, part cover guy.
And coming up, sticking his nose in the mess there and making a nice play defensively. He's going to look deep down the field. It's caught at the 10. And he is in. Touchdown, Raiders. A big play there. 52 yards.
And the Raiders are on the board first here in this division round matchup.
They talked about stringing together some explosive plays here in the playoffs. That was a pretty explosive play.
It certainly was. And if you're going to win on the road, it certainly helps to have big play.
5 to the 27.
So here come the Texans now for their first drive. And a glance here at their quarterback standing 6'3".
And he and his team, they were the beneficiaries of a first-round bye earned by a tremendous regular season. He'd been...
Looking to throw. Stroud. Escaping the pressure right. And he'll take this one in for a Texans touchdown.
C.J. Stroud,
an 8-yard touchdown run.
And the Texans are an extra point away from drawing level.
Well, I'd have to say that for him, that was an all-encompassing drive because it was his arm that got his team down to that point, but his legs that finished the deal. One hit the end zone after that effort he just gave him.
And they'll turn to the power game to try to get in. And he's in for the score. Touchdown, Texans.
A touchdown run there from a yard out. And the Texans have scored again in this third quarter, this time to move out in front.
Well, this offense only mustered 3 points in the first half on that field goal. They picked up the pace now, 2 third-quarter touchdowns.
Hey, you remember?
So they stay alive in the NFL playoffs, move on to the conference championship. And do you think that the printing press is starting to get those T-shirts and hats ready, my friend?
They have to, Brandon. They have to be ready because if you win, you've got to hand those out on the field right away. And just think about the pressure for the players now. Families are going to be talking about tickets to the Super Bowl even before you play the conference championship game.
So that'll do it for my partner, Charles Davis, and the best darn crew in the industry. I'm Brandon Gaudin. This has been a presentation of the NFL on EA Sports. It's a win for the Texans as we say so long from Houston.
Madden Football brings you the divisional round of the NFL playoffs, and it's brought to you by EA Sports. It's the Cowboys and the Bucks on Sunday night primetime.
It's the NFL on EA Sports, and we're on the road to the Super Bowl. Coming up, we'll close another Sunday of football with a great matchup between the Dallas Cowboys and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I'm Kate Scott, joining me as always, my partner in crime, Brock Heward, and we are excited to bring you this NFL divisional round game. Well, excited, the word that you and I get to use, Brock, as do all these great fans in attendance, but for the players down on the field, I think a better word to discuss in this situation, hardline. So here come the Buccaneers, ready for their opening drive. They're brought out by former #1 pick who always plays with energy and passion, Baker Mayfield.
There's just certain quarterbacks, the way they run on the field. You just say their name and just some adjectives, and the receiver on the other end finishing it, doing his job.
They'll throw it again. And they're going to take this to the end zone for a Tampa Bay touchdown. The Buccaneers finish up an excellent opening series. Well, you couldn't ask for a better start to a game than that. The offense taking it all the way down the field and finishing with 6.
These opening drives, Kate, are such tone setters. It is why every offense loves to script their first 15 plays, right? Everybody knows what's coming, allows you during the...
Working inside the red zone. And they're going to take this to the end zone for a Tampa Bay touchdown. The Buccaneers take a 13-0 lead. Jalen McMillan with the touchdown. Great opportunity to find a touchdown there, Brock, and they come through with 6.
Receivers want the ball everywhere on the football field. But you start smelling the end zone, they really want their chance. And they will tell you as a quarterback, just give me... But with their effort on his behalf, I think this QB felt owed to them. And the group up front to find somebody to get a completion so that...
And he's going to haul it in for the Tampa Bay touchdown. The Buccaneers take a 20-zip lead. It's a Rachaad White touchdown. Well, Brock, you found himself some space to work, and from there, wow, all athleticism as he made his way into the end zone.
You got that right, Kate. Just that speed. You got to have some different gear when you get down here to the red zone. It's hard.
Now it's 1st and goal. Baker throwing again. And they will score. Touchdown, Tampa Bay. The Buccaneers boat racing them to the halftime locker room. They were throwing for it there, and they didn't care who knew about it, Brock. And it turns out, hey, nothing was going to stop them either.
Yeah, there's something about an empty formation. You are declaring to a defense, other than QB draw, this ball is going to be...
Already in enemy territory. 1st down, here's Baker. Got Evans, it's complete. And they're going to take this to the end zone for a Tampa Bay touchdown. The Buccaneers boat racing them to the halftime locker room. Mike Evans with the touchdown. And that, Brock, I know you're keeping track, but just in case our audience isn't, his 4th first-half passing touchdown. At the pace he's on, this would be a new record if he has a second half to match this one. On the run, it's 3rd and 6 now. Sound the cannons, baby. The Buccaneers win it here in Tampa. And they took care of business just as you'd expect a 1 seed to do. And they're going to get to stay at home another week and welcome in another opponent with a conference title on the line. That does it for another broadcast of the NFL on EA Sports. With my partner in the booth, Brock Huard, I'm Kate Scott. The Buccaneers winners, as with that, we sign off from Tampa.